Hello, hello. Everybody's wound up, including Selah.
And me too. I'm trying to figure out what I'm doing here.
We got Selah's treat out early today. So for the last 2 hours, she's been wanting the show to start. So she knows
finally
she's
got
ready.
away.
Say hello to everybody. Say hello up here. Hey, say hello up there. The camera's up there. She doesn't know where.
Really? What's wrong with that?
She does know where the snack is, though. Hi, how you doing? Nice to see you.
We've got Mary Lou here and David.
Yeah. So for some reason, our iPad isn't working. So we're doing commands in a different sort of way. Ida has to do it from her window. Is that going to work?
No, because I can't see.
Why do you have to see?
I can't see Facebook then.
Why do you need to see it?
Because people's comment. Oh, never mind.
Why don't you put two windows up?
How do I put two windows up?
Do you want me to put a Facebook window up there?
Yeah, that'd be great because then I can see the comments.
People aren't interested in our technical issues, in our technical matters, Ida.
Well,
I'll try to put a Facebook window up over there so that you can watch. The
my
problem
poor
is, I think
tongue, it's been bitten.
Technology, schmechnology.
That's right. Who cares about the technology?
That's what they say.
Schmechnology.
So anyway, so what the idea for the show tonight is, if you have been paying attention for the last 2 years, you're going to do really well in the quiz tonight, because we took 9 questions from shows over the last 2 years.
Okay, you took 9 questions and you didn't share with me what the questions are. And I know the only one I know the answer to is petrichor, and I hope that that's one of the questions. Because every time he asks me that, I miss it. So I've melted it into my brain. Petrichor.
We thought that it would be fun,
to
go back and see if we remember. Like I've postulated a number of times that nobody actually knows the answers to the questions we did even last week, let alone last year, and that we could just do the same quiz over and over again, and it would still. So that's what we're going to try tonight. So
are you going to put it up there?
Yeah.
Put it up there.
I can't talk. Okay, well then you can talk. You can explain what the show is about. Go ahead.
Well, I think you just did. You went back 2 years and you pulled out some questions that you thought we would all know the answers to or not. And we're going to play the game and try to get the answers right. Right? That's basically it. But as I said in the write-up of the show, this is a pass-fail exam. And really, the spoiler alert is everybody passes. You pass by just coming here and being our friend.
You're so Pollyanna. Everything.
That's right.
Everything has to be okay.
It's going to be all right.
It's not possible for people to have. You don't allow people to have a bad time on the show.
I don't want people to have a bad time on the show. I want them to have fun on the show. That's the whole point.
Okay, here's the live show. So now, what do you want me to do? Click on that?
Yeah, I want to see the comments.
So that's what. Oops. Now how do I get? How do I get to mute that? There we go.
Just like that. There you go.
All right, is that going to make you happy?
Yes.
All right.
It doesn't take much to make me happy.
Technology,
I'm happy
schmechnology.
there you go.
We got it all. We got it all going.
Now.
And Kathy, we even got a sound machine.
Oh.
Do we have an appropriate sound for?
Here comes trouble.
So Kathy's been saying, "Where's the sound machine?" for weeks,
Got
and so we did get the sound machine back. So hopefully we can get your comments up on the show now. I did see a couple pop across, so it's nice to see you all. I was so busy with technology, I didn't really get to pay attention to who's here. So I see David
and
on Facebook.
Mary Lou is here,
on
and John's coming. Kathy's here.
But none of the Facebook comments are showing up there.
Nope, they're not.
There were 2 different threads out there. It's sort of weird. Let me try again. Before we start the show, I'm going to try one more thing.
Okay.
Facebook. Find posts. This time I'll just go with the first one that comes
up. That's not my stomach growling.
Did that change anything?
That's the dog.
No, now nothing's showing up. That's worse. What are you doing back? I've already given you your food. Go away. I don't have
I
any more.
think there's a second pizza.
Yeah, it turns out Ida always is hiding an extra piece. And so now I'm going to pester you the entire show instead of just the beginning. Not that I'm upset about that.
Something came up and then it went away. What just happened?
It came up?
Yeah, then it went away.
Well, I got rid of it. Okay, we're going to go back to this one. We're going to just go with it. Whatever it is. We might not be able to get your comments up. We can see them. I forgot. I wanted to dedicate this show to our first friend.
Our first friend.
Yeah. It's his birthday.
That's right.
We always do birthdays at the end.
His birthday's the 8th, but yeah.
If it were his birthday today, we would have a birthday show.
That's right.
But his birthday's a couple days from now, but still, he's our first friend.
Right, and we are going to dedicate the show to him.
Rob, this show is for you. This comprehensive. So the idea, really why I came up with this idea was that I don't have any more. Go away, please. Okay? She knows I'm maybe not telling the truth because Ida, for some reason, got 2. Is this yours? This other one?
That's yours.
You gave me 2, and you have another one hidden?
I don't have any hidden because I got in trouble for hiding.
You have that one hidden and give it to her and get rid of her.
Okay. Come here, Sarah.
So Rob wants to grade Ida's paper. He gets that right today. But, this is getting toward the end of the school year. It's only April, but May is right around the corner.
Right.
Finals and all that is coming up. So we wanted to give an early final. So that, like a pop final. Do you remember pop quizzes? Oh, that was the worst. You go into math or science and they say pop quiz, and you go, "Oh, I didn't study. Last night's the only night all year I didn't study."
Exactly.
And all right, so let's get to the show. All right, okay. So it's a comprehensive exam, and we'll just have some fun. Maybe we'll get on memory lane a little bit and talk about the shows that we saw. Do we have that list of shows anywhere? We never printed it out. I'll bring that up too, I guess.
Pretty soon we're going to have all the screens just covered with.
All right, notes. So here we go.
Yeah.
So this is our comprehensive exam. I hope you do well. Question number 1 is this. It was from the income tax show 2 years ago. This is income tax time.
Yeah.
Although in the U.S. they delayed it a year. I mean a month. So you've got till May. And but we're and our tax advice is not legal advice, so don't take it that way. But here's the question. Income tax was instituted in the United States to help pay for what? Was it in 1608 to pay for John Smith's alimony to Pocahontas? Was it in 1783 to pay for the War of U.S. Independence? Was it in 1862 to pay for the Civil War? Or was it in 1918 to pay for World War I? If you were watching the show and paying close attention and have a great memory 2 years ago, you would have seen the answer to this question.
Or discussed it.
So, yeah.
Or laughed about it.
We definitely talked about it. Actually, see the date down there in the corner. April 10th, 2019 was the show. And it was fun with taxes or something like that. Fun with tax trivia.
Yeah.
Get off, Selah. And so what do you think? What's the...
Well, I'm going to... Am I supposed to guess?
Anybody's supposed to guess.
We got people guessing, so I'll go with what they're saying. I think it's C. Mary Lou says 1D. And Thomas says D.
So, but everyone should definitively know. Because these are, I mean, if you weren't here 2 years ago, I understand. You might not know the answer. But if you were here 2 years ago, we taught this to you 2 years ago. That's why it's a comprehensive exam. That's what the terrible thing about comprehensive exams are. They go back all the way to the beginning of the course.
Right.
And you have to remember everything.
We got lots of people saying we've got like split C's and D's.
Okay, so here's the answer. The answer is C. It was to pay for the Civil War. Income tax didn't exist until the Civil War, but the tax was actually disbanded in 1872 because it was deemed unconstitutional. And then in 1913,
they brought it back.
The Constitution was changed.
Oh, yes.
Via the 16th Amendment. So these are the historical facts that you should be remembering from the show. I mean, we're teaching you such wonderful things. These taxes were reintroduced. So so they're
and something tells me they're not going to go away ever again.
Yeah, it turns out that it's very difficult to change amendments to the Constitution.
Once the Constitution has been amended, that's it.
What is John 1:19?
I don't know, John 1:19. Why?
She was saying something about John, I think.
Okay.
I'm sure there was something in passing that we missed. So did you get that one right? That's the very first question.
Okay,
Here comes the second question.
I'm going to keep my own score.
So this one is July 24th, 2019. So this is much later, not April, but all the way up to July. We had a show on the anniversary of the signing of ADA. I'm sure we'll do another anniversary show this year when it comes up. Question is, which president signed the ADA into law? I mean, we're disability experts.
That's right.
We should know everything about this.
You know what they say about experts, right?
What do they say?
An X is a has-been, and a spurt is a drip under pressure. So that makes us.
There you go.
We're not. Are we all those things? I don't know about an expert, but anyway, yes, we're experts.
Okay, so was it President Clinton? A. Was it President Reagan? B. Was it President George H.W. Bush? C. Was it President George W. Bush? D. Or was it President Obama? In the original test, I had another answer, but when we read the answer, we didn't understand it.
What did that mean?
My last answer, I usually make a joke, and for some reason, I couldn't even understand the joke.
Well, it was a.
So which president signed the ADA into law? Do you know when the ADA was? What anniversary we're on? Yeah, we're about to hit the 31st. Isn't it the one coming up, the 31st anniversary? I think what last was the 30, or this one is. We're right around 30. What's the?
Listen, I usually look, because Joel's a historian, I usually look to see what Joel does and just kind of go with him, but I cannot possibly go with him this time. Can it be that he could be wrong? He says A, but it's got to be.
Under Clinton?
It's a Bush.
It is. It is a Bush. And two Bushes are more important than a Clinton. I don't know.
Something about a bird in the hand.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
We've got two Bushes.
Right.
So.
And only one.
So which Bush? That's the question.
Well,
which
the majority
Bush is
is
the bird
saying
in?
C. So.
Of course, it's the older George
Herbert
H.
Walker.
Yep. George Herbert. Let's see what the fine print here says. I did a lot of writing back in those days.
Yeah.
In 1986, the National Council on Disability had recommended, the enactment and drafted the first version of the bill, which was introduced in the House and Senate in 1988. So that's when it all began, and it was all under George H.W. Bush. Kathy knows best. So it was under George H.W. And Johnny Erickson Tata was sitting there.
Sure
you can see her in the photos. And there's another guy, I can't remember his name. He's a lawyer with a big Texas hat that I always see there. We'll remind you when the anniversary comes around. In the summer coming up here.
July.
That's one of the things we proposed to our grant, that we would do that. We would do that show specifically. So we might be doing that show as a grant.
Yeah, but we'll be doing it no matter what.
A sponsored show. Yeah, we'll probably do it whether they sponsored or not.
It's that important. Yeah.
Yeah. It's disability rights or civil rights. I've said this a few times, but I don't think I could say it enough. Right now, everything is about civil rights, and there's all this conversation about civil rights. But for some reason, disability isn't enough in the conversation. We're talking about racial civil rights. We're talking about women's civil rights. We need to be talking more about disability civil rights, because that is the biggest one that is not being attended to. It's worse than the others, and it's so terrible. I'm not against the other civil rights, so I don't want to disparage that either. But it's just makes me so angry that we're not getting the same play for the world that we care about so much. But That's our work still to do. Okay, then on August 21st, we had a show, which was about where we sort of played our version of Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader?
Uh-huh.
And the fifth grade question was this one. What is the past participle of the irregular verb shake? Now, irregular verb just means that it doesn't conjugate normally. You don't just add an ed.
Right.
That's what makes it irregular. So you don't have to worry about that.
Uh-huh.
But what's the past participle part?
Well, I'm going to rule out David.
Fifth graders know the answer.
Of course they do. It's fresh in their mind. You know, when I was in fifth grade the last time.
So the question is it A, shake?
No.
Is that the past of shake? Shake. I shake. He shaked. We used to shake. Or is it shaked?
No.
Is it shook? Is it shaken? That's third. That's how I like my martinis.
Oh, I was going to. Sayla wouldn't let me do it.
Which is it? Or is
the
it?
The answer is.
There's a deglabrate. That was a joke from the show before. The show before we did big words, and deglabrate was one of the big words.
Yeah. Well, David says C, and Nathan says C. They're the closest one.
But you say D.
I said D.
They're not very close to fifth grade.
They're closer to fifth grade than I'm to fifth grade.
Okay, a little bit.
Thank you for that. You could have gone. Don't say shook.
Who are the English among us? Past participle. I know. All I know is there's something called a participial phrase. It's a part, like when you're diagramming a sentence, a participial phrase is something one of the things you pull out.
I see.
But I can't tell you what that means.
We are so good at this. Not. Okay, but
what's the consensus?
It
doesn't matter what the consensus is because the actual answer is D. Shaken. Shaken, not stirred. Did you remember it?
I don't know that I remembered that was the past participle, but that's the word that came to my head.
So you probably knew it from the show way back there.
I think I probably knew it from fifth grade, and it just kept knowing it.
No, I like to think we taught you that.
And then the show
reinforced
it for me, and I thought, well, I'll never forget that because I was reinforced by uniquely the same.
Exactly.
That's right.
Thank you.
Oh my goodness.
Get with the program.
I'm trying. It took me a minute to see where you were going, but I'm there.
Well, and here was the show, September 11th, when we did the 18 words you'd never heard before.
Oh no!
And so these are all words that we thought you'd never heard of. They're all real words.
In the morning.
The question is what they mean. Now, we had a long discussion about this particular question, so I'm guessing that most people that were watching the show will remember this.
Of course you will.
I think you will. I think you will. So in the morning, when you stretch and yawn.
Yeah.
This right here.
Yeah.
In the morning, though, I'm doing it in the evening. In case you didn't notice. Well, some people might be watching in the morning. So if you're watching in the morning and you do that,
right?
Are you genticulating? Did you just genticulate, or did you pendiculate, or did you labefactate?
You genticulated.
Genticulated.
That's what you did. You genticulated.
You're sure? You were there, so I guess I'd have to trust you.
Oh, you were there too. Mary Lou says genticulate.
So, so we had a long conversation about it because no one had ever heard of the word, and everybody said, "We're going to think about this tomorrow when we wake up."
And
it was one of the
something
words.
Tells me it's not genticulate, but
it was one of the words that everybody said we're going to retain.
Yeah,
we're going to remember. And of course, it's not genticulate.
Of course,
at all.
It's not.
It's pendiculate.
Why is it pandiculate?
Even
Sayla wants to
look
know.
up the word. You want to look up the origin of the word? Pendiculate. Tomorrow when you wake up, please pendiculate. Do not genticulate. For no cost. For no reason. Please do not.
Well, you're right.
Is that
I just
clear?
looked it up.
What do you mean? You have to check my answers.
I was checking in on it because I thought maybe he was just slipping us.
We have made a couple of mistakes along the way, but our listening audience, our viewing audience, has always corrected us. So we haven't even made it out of the show without getting corrections. We've never had to go back. How about this one?
Okay.
In October of 2019, we asked about. We were studying various foreign sayings. And one of the saying, it was a Russian saying, and it's, I'm not hanging noodles on your ears. I'm not hanging noodles. So what does that mean? Does it mean don't laugh? This is important. Okay. So like, I'm not hanging noodles on your ears, so don't laugh about it. Or I'm telling the truth. I'm not hanging noodles on your ears.
A noodle is a lie.
Or you can't get me to do something silly. I'm not hanging noodles on your ears. Or this food tastes good. Have you ever seen those pictures of babies when they got noodles hanging on their ears?
You mean like when we dump the spaghetti?
Spaghetti all over their face. There's noodles on their ears.
Sweet.
Sometimes coming in and out of their noses. So yeah. So which one is it? It's the Russian saying. Of course you remember from the show. It's only 2 years ago, October.
Well, Mary Lou says B.
Here's the first question. Do you even have a recollection that we looked at this question?
I do. I have a vague really very vague recollection about it. The hanging noodles on your ears. How do you forget that?
You might not have been here for the show, but you and I can't claim that. I mean, other people could say, I don't think I must have missed that show.
We wrote the questions.
Yeah. There's a lot of shows I look at and I go, did we do that? We did that. Teacher appreciation show. We did the teacher appreciation.
That was good. We did teacher appreciation.
That's right. Good for us.
David says A. Rob says B. The birthday boy is saying B.
Okay, so here's the answer.
Okay, give us the answer.
When you think about this next time, it's the same as the saying, "I'm not pulling your leg," or "I am." It's the same as pulling someone's leg.
Yeah. So it's telling
hanging
the truth.
Noodles on your ears. Yeah. So
it's B.
So it is B. I'm telling the truth to you. I'm not hanging noodles on your ears. If everyone in Moscow was like, "What are those people stupid? They don't know what that means."
Because we do have viewers from Moscow.
All the Moscow viewers, our big Moscow audience. Yeah. I like that saying though. I'm not hanging noodles on your ears.
All right.
No, we
should start employing some of these sayings.
That's what we said 2 years ago. We can't even remember what it means.
But that way, we will ingrain it in our memories. And next time you throw up one of these comprehensive exams, pop quiz.
It's true. It's true.
We'll have the answers.
Yeah, this is only a 9 question. It really is more of a quiz.
David has a good question.
Yeah.
What type of noodles would one hang?
Well, you could hang angel hair. You could hang linguine. It just depends on how truthful.
Russian. Do you think Russians have linguine and angel hair?
Well, they must have some noodles.
I think they have just those wide
egg potato noodles.
That's
in Russia.
There you go. There you go, David.
I do. So I don't know, David. I don't even know what kind of. There's our next show. What kind of noodles do Russians eat? We're going to do a whole show on that. All right, let's keep.
Okay.
Let's keep reading. Kathy got it right. Okay, now do you remember this show? We did a word show where words linked other words. So this was everyone had a really hard time with this show.
Okay.
And so this is an example. So this is a word. You're trying to think of the word that precedes every single one of these words.
Okay.
All right. And so it's just the same word that precedes all of them. So something bag.
Okay.
Something bag. All right.
Got it.
You don't want to guess before you see a couple of them. All right.
Okay.
So I'll put the big screen up so we can see it. Something craft. Something bag. Something craft. You're supposed to come up with a word.
Got it.
It still fits?
Yeah.
Okay. How about line? Something line.
Actually, if I would have gone with my first thought, I would have been wrong.
So you got a new
one? But now
one?
you're
Something
reinforcing
line.
my.
Anybody get it yet? Something bag, something craft, something line, something plain.
Mm-hmm.
Your word fits all this?
It does.
All right. How about port? How about something port?
Oh, I'm so proud of myself. I remember this one.
All right. How about this one? Tight.
Got it.
Even that one.
Even that one.
That's the last one. You've got to get it from those.
Okay.
It's a single word. I haven't seen anybody pop up the answer to that one. So you actually have memory, and everyone just completely. As I remember, this is one of those games that Mary Lou was good at. And I don't remember who else was. I remember a lot of people were frustrated with this game.
Mary Lou's got it. Mary Lou says air. Kathy says hand.
Handbag, handcraft. Ooh, hand line.
Nathan says, oh, it's air.
Oh, it is air. The word is air. It's air, of course. Airbag, aircraft, airline, airplane, airport, airtight. It's a fun game.
I love this game.
But other people did.
This is one that I feel like I might have a chance of getting.
It's the whole reason why we've never played it again, because I thought people really didn't like it. So if you think that would be a fun game,
we should try it again
play it
sometime.
But I have been.
Kathy's saying air and Rob is saying air, so
I've been avoiding it on purpose. All right. Earlier, you were talking about looking up my answers and correcting them. This was a question that we got the answer wrong.
I'm reading the question. Yeah.
This is one of them. I found it. I can't really. I don't really have a recollection of specifically the other ones, but I remembered this one, so I went back to look it up. So we were able to correct the record right there on the air.
Yes.
Al even gave us the calculation and everything.
He did.
But so now we're going to correct the record by doing it again, and this time I'm going to try to give you the right answer, and you can check me again and make sure that I got it right. Al's not on the broadcast as far as I can tell, but he'll watch the recording, so Al correct us in the recording if we've gotten it wrong this time. Approximately how many seconds are? This was a show about time and time zones, and so we were wondering about how many seconds there are in a year. How many seconds are there in a year? And basically what we did was we took an average, because sometimes you have 365 days and sometimes you don't.
Right.
So 365 days, but this is the average number of seconds. So it's not exactly 365. So if you notice that it's a little off from that calculation, you can't get this by doing 365, but you can come close.
Mary Lou's chimed in C.
Yeah, so which is it, A, B, or C? And that was the idea. We were trying to figure out how many seconds.
This is just too much to think about. I'm going to say B.
Isn't there a song like 900 da 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 da?
There is.
What's that? It's from a famous show. And that's in a year.
Yeah.
Maybe from Cats, or I don't know the show.
I don't think it's from Cats. But anyway.
Anyway,
we should.
They made Minutes famous. That's Minutes.
Yeah.
That song.
So we've got 2 C's and 1 B. 2
C's and a B, and our B was I give up, so I just go with the I didn't B.
Yeah, that's right. When you don't know the answer, just say B.
It what? Did you read that was?
It averages out over time to help you out.
Yeah, it averages to being 1/4 on a 4.
That's what happens.
Okay, so approximately how many seconds are there in a year? Is it 3,155,760? Is it 31,557,60? Or is it 315,576? Or is it seconds? No thanks. I'm still working on my first.
Yeah, it feels like I feel like last time I guessed C and it was too big. Mary Lou says that song is from Rent, the musical.
Rent. There you go. Thank you. So the answer is B. You had the right premonition there.
I did.
31,557,600 seconds. That's a lot of seconds.
That is a lot of seconds.
And you get them every single year. How about that?
Good job.
Okay, let's go on to question number 8. 2 more questions left. So this is another one of those. This was teacher appreciation show that we did.
Oh no.
And we played another game a lot like Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader?
Mhm.
We like that show, so we come back to that from time to time. Comprehensive exam question number 8. Which is the smallest composite number?
Yeah.
And we talked at length about this on the show.
Uh-huh.
You can go back and look it up. It's on the April 30th, 2020.
I think it's tree.
2020 April 30th. Tree. Tree is a composite. See,
I get it.
Actually, what it should have said was something like plywood or pressed board.
Yeah. But I kind of knew where you were going. I must be sitting next to you too long. Oh, my.
But tree sounds like a number, so that's why I put tree. 1, 2, 3.
I get, oh, my word. Okay. First of all, I don't even remember what a composite number is.
Well, that would be key to knowing the answer to this question.
Problem number 1.
But it's not hard to figure out the smallest.
I can see the smallest number.
Yeah, so which one's the smallest composite?
Who knows?
That's correct.
Okay, I guess it's 9.
You're going to have to know what a composite number is.
I don't know what a composite number is.
But what would you guess a composite number
help
is?
Me.
What would you guess a composite number is?
I don't know.
Compost. It's like a rotten number. The numbers... Compost is a rotting thing. And so a compost number...
Is a rotten number?
Is a number that has, a lot of evil surrounding it. What's the smallest one? Well, not 666. That would be one of the bigger ones. There's got to be a smaller one. The number the number 6 could be one. What are you doing? You looking for Nathan
I'm trying
and
to see
David's
where
answer?
I lost. Well, yeah, I am trying to see because they should know, right? Although David, unfortunately, agrees with me that it's tree. So that's not good. Nathan says C or D. So now which?
C or D.
First he said C.
Here's the interesting fact. I'm almost certain that David and Nathan got this right on that show, and they got it immediately right.
Yeah, but they were probably studying composite numbers.
It was probably, well, it was not probably. It was a year and a half ago.
I like David's answer. It's either A, B, C, D, or E.
Yeah. Here it goes.
Kathy says 9.
Here it goes. The answer is 9. Number 9.
Kathy's you're my hero.
9.
Kathy.
Don't you listen to the Beatles? Number 9.
The Beatles sing about composite numbers?
They sing about the number 9.
No, they don't.
Yeah.
Do they say it's a composite number?
It says it just like that on the album. Number 9. Number 9. Not exactly like that. It has a British
number
accent.
9 is a composite number. And it's the smallest one.
I suppose a composite number is a number that's made up of another number. I really don't know what a composite number is, so I'm just speculating. Okay. But like 3 plus 3.
Well, every number is.
Or 3 times 3. Okay. A composite number. It's composed.
I'm going to look it up after the show, and I'm going to study it. Numbers. So next time I'm going to get it right.
I'm guessing that 12 is a composite number too.
But it's not the smallest.
Yeah. So that's my opinion of it. But I don't know. I'm just guessing. But we did explain it on the show. I have to just go back and look at the April 30th as if anybody will actually.
I don't know, Rob. Rob's saying I should trust the college worker. I didn't even see your answer, Rob.
Did we miss it?
So
Rob knew?
No. I don't see.
We trust you, Rob.
Well, he trusts you. I'm not sure I do. But okay.
All right, there's one last question.
All right.
This question was from a show where we talked about modern language versus 1920 language. Mm-hmm. And so the question was this a word from 1920 or was it a word from 2020? It was Gen X versus the Roaring 20s language.
I remember that show.
And so we put words up and we said, okay, is this a word from 1920 or 2020? And interestingly enough, there are a couple words that were both.
Yeah.
So the word tea is a saying. It's a slang for something. So that's what the show was about. So was it slang in 1920 or was it slang in 2020 or is it slang in both? Now this is one where David and Nathan should know whether this is a word or not. You
should know, boys. We're waiting for you. We're counting
There were a couple words when I went through this that I looked at and I'm like, hey, I know that word now, but I didn't know it then.
There were a few of those I learned too.
Yeah. So I learned on that show, but I've heard them. So I didn't put them up because they were too, like one was no cap.
No.
That was one of the words.
Mhm.
So I remember never heard of that before that show, but now I know what it means. So the question is T. So the very first question is it 1920 or 2020? The word T.
Yeah. Well, Nathan's weighing in.
Is he?
Yeah.
2020. That's the T, he would say.
But did they say that?
Did they also say it in 1920? They definitely said the word T, but was it slang? That's the real question. All right, so let's move on with the answer.
Mary Lou said 1920. So what is it?
That is a term from 2020, not 1920. But the question is, what does it mean? So Nathan has now given it in a sentence. What was his sentence?
That's the T.
That's the T. So what would that mean? That's the T.
That's the whole story. That's the down low.
That's the down low. Are you trying to be happening right now?
I'm trying to be hip and happening. Are you being
no,
mean to
that's
me?
Funny. Why did you say that's the down low?
Because I was trying
to mock. Is that a term you use?
These, no. But I was thinking, we say things like this is a saying. Mm-hmm. Spill the tea.
Yeah. That's another saying.
Spill the tea.
Spill the tea.
Just the facts, ma'am. Nothing but the facts.
There you go.
Fill me in.
Yeah, what it means is spilling the tea. It's gossip. Gossip. So spilling the tea is gossiping. Yeah, there you go. Says our resident expert, Nathan. An example. Last night was a mess. Here's the tea.
Yeah. Oh. Do you guys really say that? Spill the tea?
Apparently, he said it right away.
I know he did. Here's the tea.
You
know what? I remember last time I was going to remember that.
That was one of the ones you really wanted?
I really wanted to remember that.
Now you can. See, that's why we do it.
Yeah.
We've picked words that would, and sayings that would allow you to.
We don't want you to
re-energize.
Spill the tea.
While we were, that's the end of the questions. But while I was going through, we came through this show. Do you remember the show? Is it Cal or Animal?
Unfortunately, I remember that show because you made some of the strangest sounds I've ever heard.
I brought the recording onto this show. So after the break, we can
good.
We could look at a couple of those too, because I thought maybe that would be a fun one to have a question. But when I went through it, everybody's going to remember.
I don't know. The best for me, the faces that you made when you were making those sounds. Oh my goodness.
So we can look at some of those again for fun. So yeah.
David said it's used all the time, so
we'll do that after the break.
Start using it.
You better start using it, Ida. If you're
That's right. I want to be with it.
What was the saying you said?
I don't want to call him the down low.
Yeah, you gotta replace. Give me the down low.
Well, it's kind of like I got it. The down low is a gossip.
Okay. I'm sure David and Nathan, you use that one all the time.
Down low, right?
Give me the down low. You go into the locker room and say, "Hey, let's talk about the down low on that one, teacher."
I bet they do.
I'm not mocking you, Ida.
You're not?
No.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, maybe.
Okay. Yeah. Maybe just a little bit.
All right, let's get to the serious part of the show. We've got to make it serious.
We do. Every now and then we have a little serious part.
Ida's saying of the week. Ida does the saying every week, and more. She's got sayings galore. But on the show, she comes on with one saying, and so here we go.
Dig yourself out of that one. Oh well, I don't know what drew me to this one this week. I usually try to tell you why, but I think it's important. So I came up with a little saying of the week. So be so completely yourself that everyone else feels safe to be themselves too.
Oh, I forgot to make it big.
That's okay.
That's a good one.
I think it's a good one.
That's one of my favorite ones.
Because you make people so comfortable, they can be themselves.
It's actually
that's a gift.
It's actually pretty hard, isn't it, to not be what you think other people want you to be. And then but you never think about the fact that the more you do that, the more you're putting other pressure, you're you think you're just feeling peer pressure, but by trying to conform,
You
you're also
generate
causing it.
Yep,
You
that's
know,
true.
like teasing someone about their sayings or whatever. Those are bad.
Is that
Those are
is that
bad.
well? Listen, David was saying down low is a big zeros with wine spirit.
He didn't think so.
No.
Not a big one. That wasn't even in the 1920s. That wasn't 2020s or 1920s.
I think everybody says that.
That was like 1970.
Okay. That's more mine.
Let's get to the joke of the week.
Okay, let's do.
And what better joker could we have than the birthday boy?
I say
Rob
we couldn't do any better.
Oshesky. Rob Oshesky.
And Rob,
by the way,
lots
first guest ever on our show.
That's right.
By the way, first member of Uniquely the Same. Or
That's
whatever
right.
we call that. Not a member. What do we call that? Advocate. First advocate of Uniquely the Same. And here's Rob looking pretty young. I don't know when this picture was taken, Rob, or where the internet search team got this. But Rob says, I found a baby frog and wondered if we were distant relatives because it was a tadpole-ish.
Oh no! I get it.
Tadpole-ish. See it, Rob's Polish.
Yeah. If you don't know, because he's proud of
I
being
think he
Polish.
even reminded us of Polish noodles.
He did.
Today.
He did.
That's a pretty good one, Rob.
Good job, Robert.
And look at Rob with the prince right next to him. This is your day. Rob, you're the prince today. It's your birthday.
To make him a frog
and look, they have a similar smile. Maybe they are related.
That's it.
That wasn't the nicest compliment, but
Rob's laughing.
It's a pretty funny joke. So, Rob, you can take that joke now.
Yeah, you can take it and do what you want.
Tell it
with
to your
it,
friends.
Rob.
That's what we went to great. Rob went to great trouble to come up with that joke.
That's.
I forgot. For a second there, I forgot who writes the joke.
Right, it was
and
Rob
there's Rob
himself.
who wrote the joke.
Thank you for sharing that with us, Rob.
So, although, how come he got a thumbs down on it? Why don't we give him a thumbs?
Yes.
Yeah, why don't we get a thumbs up for it?
Oh, I don't know.
You got to oh no. Why not an oh yeah?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
we can't not push buttons.
Yes, I know. Now we have this thing that we can say all kinds of.
If we push this too many times, an ad comes up.
Yeah. So
we had ads coming up before the show. Okay, I don't know why that's fun, but it is.
It just makes me happy. Okay.
Happy birthday to Rob. That's what I have to say. Question is, what do you have to say?
Not much after.
What other things do we have going on, or things that we want to put up there? I'll throw the news up while we're chatting a little bit. There's lots of news. Want to remind you, you go to Uniquely the Same /news to get your news. We've got a little news feed there that we're quite proud of. Have you been using that?
I have been.
And does it refresh? Is it
it's
new news a lot?
It refreshes. It's new news, and it takes you where you want to go to read the news, and I like it.
Yeah, the only thing is, if you see an article, you need to bookmark it because it won't be there for long.
Right.
Because the
really
feed moves
refresh.
on.
Yeah.
And I think there's a couple hundred news articles, but they scroll off that couple hundred pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm.
We could put more, but we haven't categorized them yet. So one of these days we'll get them in categories. But do go to Uniquely the Same /news if you'd like to have disability news. We don't think there's very good sources for news, and so that's one of the good ones.
Yeah, I just noticed on the news feed that that Sesame Street, Sesame Street has a character now that's on the autism spectrum, but they're focusing now to help kids cope with change, which has been as a result of the pandemic. So, and it's huge. So it's nice to know that even Sesame Street's working on it. We know that that's a problem for all of us: loneliness and change, and trying to cope with it and trying to figure it out. So I like that. And then there was, I think we talked a little bit last week about being able to get off the waivers quicker. And I don't think I spoke to it really eloquently, but it's the American Jobs Plan. It's $400 billion in spending to expand access to Medicaid home and community-based services for those who are currently on waiting lists. So, and not only does it address the waiting list and people who are in need of home and community-based services, but it also goes to creating jobs and not jobs for everybody, including individuals with disabilities. So, so I think that's if it goes through, and I think it's a good thing. Those were two things that were making me feel good about things that are going on. I think another one, starting. I'm going to say it wrong. I think it's, well, anyway, starting soon, all the Starbucks menus are going to be in Braille. So people are starting to get in touch with the disability community and understanding that there are needs that need to be met. And we still have a long way to go, but steps are being taken. So that's good.
One of the things I was thinking about is we participate in some senior programs that we've been looking at, and we've been contemplating whether our show would be of benefit to seniors, and trying to figure out how to maybe get that into the hands of seniors who are less likely to be searching the internet. So maybe put it more on a classic television channel or something. But as I've been looking at that, one of the things I've noted, and part of it is because my own mother has sight issues. She has macular degeneration, and which is very common. I don't know what the percentage is, but it's large. It's like 20% or something like that of seniors have macular degeneration. I might be overstating that. I'm not sure exactly what the number is. But I noticed that a lot of the programs that they have are really not well adapted to people with visual impairment. And so maybe there's some place for that. And so when you talked about the Braille on the issue is seniors don't read Braille because their onset of sight deprivation is later in life. Mm-hmm. And so rarely would they know or go to learn Braille. So it's a little bit hard. You have to go through quite an adjustment process. And I don't know. I just think there's room to play in that sandbox.
I think there is too.
So that's one of the things I'd like to look into. See, we're always looking for the corners that aren't being covered. Right. That's sort of we're trying to find areas where people aren't doing as good a job. And there's a lot of like brain plasticity kinds of courses about how to keep your mind fresh. But those are the ones I'm talking about in particular that aren't pushed to sight impairment. So.
Rob says if this is a birthday show, how old will he be in 2 days?
Oh.
I think you're going to be 49. I don't know. 49?
I used to have a friend that whenever you'd ask him to guess somebody's age, he'd always say like 85. But he was totally serious. He was always like 20 years above so like I learned never to ask him.
Mary Lou says 39, but I know he's older than that.
Let's see. Rob, I really don't know how old you are, but I would guess that. Wow, he couldn't be 50. Right?
I guess 49.
Rob's not 50.
I don't know. He's going to have to tell us because otherwise
he's in his 40s.
It's just a big secret.
Rob's in his 40s.
Yeah.
But wow, I don't know. I knew you. I've only known you for a few years. I've always known you as the Rob you are today.
As the Rob you are today. You must have gone to the other room.
Another thing I want to mention is I saw scrolling by us was that Crip Camp.
Oh yeah.
Got an Oscar nomination, which is on Netflix. I think it's still on Netflix. It was about. I think it's maybe not going to be on there much longer. But if you haven't seen Crip Camp and you have Netflix, you got to go see it because a lot of people say very positive things about it. I haven't seen it yet, so that's a reminder for myself. But that's fun. Lots of people think that it's a good representative kind of show. So
it's won some major awards. Linda's saying 29. Well, I don't know where Rob is. Rob, we're going to have to count on you to tell us what the answer to that question is.
Maybe he doesn't want to know.
That could be.
Except for right here in my birthday thing, it says exactly what it is.
Oh, how old is he? Who is right?
47.
Oh,
It says 47 years old, but I don't know whether that means he's 47 and will be 48, or whether it means he's 46 and will be 47. In either case, you were wrong.
But I was close to right. Oh my goodness. Okay. Well, we've got some other birthdays.
You want to go through some birthdays?
Yeah.
Sure.
Kurt Ayler's birthday is today. Happy birthday,
Kurt Ayler. So we gotta get Kurt on the show again sometime.
So he's lots of fun.
He did a video with us one time. He's a fun guy. I don't know why he doesn't come on. We need to get him to come in the evening.
Yeah. Tim Neal's birthday is today. Rob Wolszewski, if we haven't said it enough, his birthday is on the 8th, and Kristen Shaw's birthday is on the 8th. So happy birthday, everyone.
Kristen, an often viewer, and doesn't seem to be here tonight, but probably out celebrating her birthday. Kristen's been a great participant in the show. She's been a lot of fun.
And she's not just a participant, but a great contributor, too.
There's an interesting thing about Kristen. Her sister has the same birthday.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So, except for they were born 2 years apart. So that makes it easy in their family. They just celebrate both birthdays, almost like twins. It's a weird. That's a strange. I don't know of a family where that's happened. I'm sure there are lots. But
I don't know. That's the only one I've heard.
I don't know of any. I do want to mention Donna Kephart.
Oh,
it's
happy
Donna
birthday,
Kephart's,
Donna!
Birthday, and that's my list as well. I have some repeats from you.
Well, the 29th is International Guide Dog Day. I think that's important. Let's see.
Wait a second. Did you say Kimberly Neal?
I did.
Oh, okay.
The 7th is No Housework Day. That's very important.
No housework. You know what? That's every day for me.
Well, for those of us who have to do housework, it's a day.
Well, everybody has to do housework.
Oh, but
just some of us do it.
Oh, I see. All right. National Siblings Day on the 10th. National Pet Day on the 11th. For those of us who have pets, and a lot of us do.
National Pet Day. That's a fun day.
I think so too.
It isn't every day a pet day.
Yeah, it should be.
Yeah, you get your. Joel came into town last week.
He did.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got to see Joel. Joel drove into Pittsburgh and hung out with us for a little bit of time. We got to eat together a couple times.
Yes, and had delicious.
Which we should mention. We had a fish sandwich.
He's going to brag on this fish sandwich.
That was unbelievably big. That's what you want when you get a Friday fish sandwich. You want something special.
Exactly.
And this was something special.
It was awesome. I don't even like leftovers, and that fish was so good. It was good as leftovers.
It had 4 pieces of meat, and the meat was good.
That's right.
It was weird. It was just this little bun, and then these 4 pieces of meat on top of it. It didn't make any sense, but it was a lot of fun.
Joel loved it. That was good too. Yeah. Rob says you met in 2013 and he was 39.
So he will be 47. Yeah. Okay. But happy birthday, Rob. We are celebrating with you, and we will celebrate that day. Hopefully you will too. Okay.
Were you going to share your
animals
should I do animal?
Yeah. Let's not belabor that. The show's coming to a quick close, but I'll throw in a couple of those.
Okay.
Do you remember this show? So let me pull down the news. Here we go. Is it Cal or is it Animal? That's the question. You're going to hear the feedback because I didn't mute it in our mics. Which was that? It caused Sayla to go crazy.
You're so serious, Nick.
Let's do a couple more.
What was that?
I actually am not sure that. I think that might just be a meme.
No.
I should mute it when it's.
No.
Look at that.
I remembered that cat because I thought that was really personal. I thought that was
No. All right, here's another one. That sounded like it.
Yes.
I think a lot of people guessed that was me. But it was not. It was this.
That is the strangest horse I've ever seen.
And that was a fun show. Why is this only question 2?
I don't know. I must have mixed them up.
There's some more dogs.
I'm confused. Oh.
You're watching the wrong screen.
I'm watching the wrong screen. I knew I was going to get confused.
That's a famous parrot in that one. All right, this is the last one.
That sounds like a pig.
Of course, it's a pig.
Oh no! Look at that face you're making. Oh my!
What I don't do for the show, I could have done that show without.
Yes.
Without the video.
That's
I could have
true.
just done the sound effects.
Don't you wish you would have
I
now?
You want to see me.
You're so serious. Whatever you're doing.
It was surprisingly hard to get the videos to sound like they were not just animals, but to sound like they were real videos. You know, that they weren't just me recording on my microphone, because my microphone's so distinct. So it was so I had to do all sorts of work to cover up the sound of our microphone. Yeah, so that was our fun show.
Yeah, it was good. Well, good. I think, as I said, it was pass-fail. I think everybody passed. And so everybody gets a prize. Recess.
Right. So what's Rob saying about a show that you guys did without me? Yeah, you guys. I remember the show.
We did one show without you.
But there was no Q&A. It was just an interview. And unfortunately, the sound wasn't good. We should redo that show.
That show was, it's embarrassing because the technology failed us.
Yeah.
And it was a good show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should do that. We should do that show again. Do that same show, except for with good technology running. It was distracting. The video was distracting and the sound wasn't very good, and it just didn't. It was a shame because it was. I thought that one could have been one of our best shows.
Yeah.
And it was, if you're willing to listen to it, but it's hard to watch. Hard to watch, not because of the content. So anyway, that was my little dive through memory. We wanted to do a little bit of a anniversary show, and we didn't do it.
Mm-hmm. So we got a little walk.
So that was a walk through. So you remember those shows? I tried to pick out shows that probably people didn't remember that we had done, but I came across that one that I just had to.
Yeah, we did some fun shows, and we're going to do more.
So I have been continuing to mull over the idea of taking shows that we did and redoing them during the day.
Mm-hmm.
So we do an unshow that is capped off at the end of the unshow with an actual show.
Oh.
And we would just redo the material.
It's worth a shot.
And just like we just did, we went through 4 questions of that cow or animal thing, and we just went through 3 or 4 of them in just a couple of minutes, a minute or two, right? But on the show itself, that would have been 20 minutes of content because we would have stopped in between and talked about it and let everybody guess.
That's right.
So there's different formats that we could do where the shows could be much quicker too. So that's what I'm thinking is we do shows that aren't like this show, but they're like the content, but like snappy, like really moving through it, not really waiting so much for people's comments, but just pressing on, giving people the opportunity to comment.
Who cares?
I didn't say that.
What? That wasn't nice.
I must have double tapped when I was opening up the app. I said, "Who cares?"
That's for doing that.
Who cares?
How did you get that? That's this one.
Yeah.
Mm,
It says cares.
cares.
It says who cares?
That's misleading. Okay.
All right. Well, I think the show is over. And when I get the show ended, one of the things I want to do is I want to take the news off the feed before the ending, because we always miss the first couple of slides because the news is up over the.
That's true.
So I want to jump into that and see the important people that are at the beginning.
Exactly.
You know, we see them, and a couple of them are down below, and you can't even see them at all. So, anyway, thanks for stopping by today. It is 9:08. Time goes fast.
It does go fast.
Not for you all, but for us. Anyway, thanks for stopping by on the show. We have had another great week with you. We'll look forward to another one next week. And we're going to have even better content next week. Wait till you see. Wait till you see the show next week.
It's going to be great.
It's going to be one of the best shows we've ever done. And I can't wait for it. I'm very excited about next week.
Okay.
Why aren't you excited about next week?
Now I'm scared. It's going to be great. It always is.
Yep.
When we get to spend time with you.
And of course, we always like to end the show with the very serious words, but we think they're really true. That I am uniquely the same. You're uniquely the same. Together, we could change the world. Let's do that.
I'm in.
Today and every day. We'll see you next week.
Bye now.